my people. We are here today. It's always fun and always good to see you. It's a Thursday, obviously, seeing my big head here. You know, definitely it's 9 p.m. And it's obvious that we are in the lounge. So last week, Thursday, was quite, don't want to use the word tragic, but yeah, it wasn't such a good day for a lot of people. The rains were quite high. A lot of people had so many issues. We are grateful to God this week has been quite clean and clear. A very good weather. Obviously, perhaps because the Christmas is, hiding around the corner somewhere. But indeed, what it means to us in Ghana and almost everywhere in the world is that it gets very much exciting. People are happy, not not the people who are happy for no reason. So people are happy because it's Christmas, festivities, lots of events, lots of festivals, and especially in Ghana, where over a year now, or about close to a year, the year of return has been one of the brands that's been pushed by the state and by several other agencies of the country, and it's really working well. I can tell you for a fact, with what I know, that there are over 10,000 people trooping to Ghana from across the globe, and it's going to be fun. December in Ghana is going to be something else this time around, and I'm sure it will continue year upon year. So again, one thing I need to remind you is this show is proudly supported and brought to you by Casapreco Alomo Bitters. I'm sure you can see mine already here. And, I don't hide it. I mean, yeah, you need to bear the brand, you know what I mean. So, yeah, if you're just joining us, it's the Men's Lounge. It's just good to be here. That's all I can say for now. I'm going to take my very first commercial break. When I'm back, we'll shoot straight into the issues. Today, I have two gentlemen, very strong, thick-tall gentlemen. Look, when I stand between them, I look like some adope. You know what adope means? I'll be very short. But hey, short in Ghana means something else. I'll tell you later before we end the show. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this commercial break. All right, so welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's the Men's Lounge. Of course, if you look at your time, it's already 9 o'clock, and we are in the studio and in the lounge specifically. Today, like I said, I have two very strong men. One of them I've known for several years. In fact, both of them I've actually known for several years, but one of them I've known for much more years than the other. So today I have in the studio with me Mr. Ebenezer Kwejo Saka Adumensa. He is the managing director, Saka Homes, and I'll tell you more, or perhaps I'll allow him to tell you more about himself. Saka, Akwaba.
Thank you.
So I've known this man since childhood. You have no idea. So he's the one I've known for the most number of years. And then also I have Mr. Ernest Kumi. He's an entrepreneur, governance practitioner, and politician. Ernest, Akwaba.
Yeah.
So I've known this man since 2008, 2002. No,
yeah,
99, 2000, 2002 thereabout. Yeah, that's how far I've known him from, and it's good to see you. Look, way back he wasn't this tall, and it looks as if he has a bigger head than I have now.
Charlie,
I was leading.
The cash is reflecting.
The cash is reflecting.
I'm wearing the jacket now.
Yeah, so we're Jaripa. Anyway, so we are very thankful to Casapreco Alomo Bitters for this evening. Obviously, it is their involvement that makes us be able to be here today, and thanks to the people in the studio who have also worked tirelessly to make us have this program today. Need I also remind you that eTV is at 10, and it means that whatever advertising you bring here, there are huge discounts you will never forget. Bring in all your advertising, come and get the discounts that you deserve. So today we'll be discussing men. And guess what? What's about men? We're going to look at the highs and the lows of being a man in today's world. Way back in the days, there were no mobile phones. I didn't need to impress anyone. I wouldn't have to buy airtime. And life seemed to be very free. I mean, there were rich men, there were poor men at that time anyway. But look, life seemed to be free. Now, dynamism, things are changing. And life, some way, somehow, keeps giving the men a lot of pressure. And that is what we are going to look at today. So, the highs and the lows of being a man in today's world. Saka, at this table there is no bra Saka and Father Saka. Yeah. We are wearing the same suits.
I don't even like the bra. When they start calling you bra Saka, especially when ladies start calling you Uncle Saka, you should worry.
Why?
They're rolling you out.
It means you are out of the game.
And it seems you have an idea.
It means when a lady starts calling you Uncle Saka and she's not young and you don't expect her to call you uncle, it means all she's telling you is that don't come close.
Technically, you are knocked out.
Technically, you are knocked out. A technical knockout.
People get feel out. I didn't know this.
Oh, learn it. If
Ernest.
you see a lady you like and she starts calling you, oh, Uncle Ernest, just avoid her.
That's a technical knockout.
You hear the advice.
Oh yeah. I think
Okay, so our discussion today has to do with being a man in our today's world. What are some of the highs and some of the lows? I mean, for me, I would like us to start from what different is it being a man in the world of 30 years ago as compared to being a man in this our world? Any of you can start.
Okay. Possibly, if you are looking at the highs, okay, you know, technology has changed. So there are societal pressures that comes from social, you know, technologies or social events that put a lot of pressure on you as a man. You know, as a man, you desire to have certain things, or there are certain things that makes life so smooth for you. The prime one is cash.
Of course, everybody loves cash.
Everybody loves cash. And you know, as a man, when you have a lot of cash, you know, it makes life so easy for you. But then the pressure comes from the family expectations, the expectations of society, and now there's also technological expectation that has come to add. Imagine me sitting in the comfort of my home and seeing you on TV or seeing you on social media, and I know Adame is doing so well. Charlie's got some Bugatti parked by his side, and you know.
Amen answer. Before you jump, let me shout the amen. I receive it.
You know, then me too, in my small corner, I say, hey, is that Adame? Wow, way back he used to be this. What happened? And you know, the moment you see that, maybe you call a friend, you say, hey, Charlie, did you see Adame on Facebook the other day? He's got this, oh, Charlie, yeah, you know, Adame is a big boy now. And before you meet, you know, you see there was some kind of pressure emanating from your friends, people who also know Adame. So there's this kind of societal pressure that exists already, coupled with the fact that now we are more exposed to each other through technology, which brings another form of pressure that if you don't know how to handle it, it can make or make you. So the highs are that if you have all that it takes, that's the Benjamin to spend and to be able to accommodate your pressures. You know, you're a fine man, you'll be cool in town, you'll be happy, and you can have all the fun you want to. But then, if you don't have it, that becomes another thing altogether. That is where you see people telling a lot of lies, misrepresenting themselves, putting up a lot of attitude to display who they are not. You know, so there's that side of the pressure too. Then there's also societal demands that come from your family, people that are closer to you, especially with the married men. You're taking care of your family, possibly your wife's family, friends who are seeing you and they think, Charlie, oh, it's bed and roses, and Charlie, you've got a lot of cash on you. So people will be coming to you, even at church, people will be coming to you. So whether you like it or not, from our social culture point of view, people do have an expectation of you. And it is also expected that once you are born into a family, you definitely have to exert some of these loads by taking care of the family members. Then when you marry, there's also a tree saying that if you marry a lady, whatever cost that comes or losses that comes out of it comes to you as a man too. So it means whatever that comes from that point too comes to you as a man, and you need to bear them as well. So these are some of the things that happen. I don't know what you like to as these are broad areas. Maybe we can look at where you want to figure it out.
There's a lot more. There's a lot more we'll be doing. But Saka, I'm trying to figure out. Look, obviously, NS seemed to point out several reasons or several things that brings out the highs and the lows of being a man in today's world. But what I'm trying to figure out, look out for right now is, so 30 years ago, there were men, obviously, even 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between the men 30, 35, 40 years ago and today? What's the difference?
Well, in my young life, what I've realized from experience is that 30 years ago, because there were limitations with technology, men didn't have a lot of pressure as they have today. I would start with infidelity. If a man traveled somewhere and had an affair or a relationship with someone, he would come home and nobody would know about it. Today, if you travel somewhere and you have an affair with someone, she will just take one picture, put it on Facebook. The next thing you know, a lot of people are talking about you to her. It gets to your family or your wife. So it's not like before.
Mm-hmm.
People used to marry all over, and they will only find out about their kids at their funeral. Now all you need to do as a child is to put up your father's picture on Instagram and say, do you know this man? And the whole world will give you information about him. There's Google. You put in your name and so much comes up. So I think the main difference between men then and men now is the information gap. Same with incomes. Because of the closing of the information gap, I believe men today are able to make more money than before. If you look at the price of cars in the 60s and you look at the price of cars now, you think we shouldn't be able to buy cars now. Mm-hmm. But it's even now that we are buying more cars because of technology and information, we are making more money, we are spending more money, and we are doing more than it used to be done in the past. 30 years ago, the cost of living was also not as high as now. So people could easily run big families. Now, if you run a family of more than 3 kids, you're likely to have high blood pressure and possibly diabetes just from school fees permutations. Uh-huh. Just from calculating your fees plus your electricity bill and water and food for the month can give you some sleepless nights. So times are very, very different from 30 years ago.
So then would we say that the role of man is gradually changing? I mean, is it changing in any way? Considering what it's been like, technology making things become even faster than we've always thought. Is it some way, somehow changing the role of a man?
I think so. I think it's changed not only in technological or monetary terms, even in the running of a home. Yeah. There was a time in the past when the man ran the home. Now we have our wives and ladies working. So there's co-sharing in some homes. There are homes where it's even the women who are taking care of the men. So some men have actually lost their mouths. Yeah. They are supposed to be the head of the family, but in actual terms they are not. Yeah. When their wife says jump, he only says please. How high? That's the situation some of us find ourselves in.
Well, Ernest, has it changed in any way?
Yeah, it has changed a lot. You know, those days there was total dependency on the men.
On the men.
So if you look at in the days of our mothers and our grandmothers, the woman typically would be in the house, whereas the man does all the necessary business rounds or the traditional jobs and brings in the money to feed the family and to take. So there's total dependency on the man, and the woman, there's also total submissiveness from the woman as well. But with today's pressures, you know, as we're saying, even your wife is working, she's earning good income as well. She's contributing to taking care of the home and the development of the home as well, and maintenance of the home as well. So if she's doing all that, you should definitely know times have changed. So she's no longer doing total dependency on you. There's no longer 100% submissiveness because she's also equally contributing to the home. Ideally,
a honor problem, you want submissiveness.
Yeah,
it doesn't come lately.
That's why most marriages are failing.
It doesn't come easily.
Why?
That's why most marriages are failing.
Why does it come easily?
From the little I know of the Bible, the Bible speaks about marriage in the sense that men should love and women should submit.
Yeah.
The essence of men loving or God saying that we should love is because most of us men struggle to love or show love. Women struggle with submissiveness. Men are egocentric, and all we need is that our egos are satisfied. So women ideally must submit to a man for a peaceful home.
Yeah.
Women eat love, so the man must be seen to be showing or giving love. But because we are mixing this with, I'm also contributing to the house, so why are you telling me this, why are you telling me that? That's why there are a lot of clashes. The fundamental basis of a Christian marriage is love and submission. Once we're able to balance that, I think most of us will be okay. Even if your wife makes, there are people who make more, there are women who make more money, but because of their training, they are able to submit to their husbands and they have a peaceful home. But most of the divorce cases now, I realize, are as a result of men not showing love to their women or not making the woman feel loved. You see, love is a feeling for women. And even if you are doing things just to make her feel loved, I think so them.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you can ask my wife. I don't. Me, I love her, but you know, sometimes I love you, Neshomu. So you need to do things and act in a manner that she will feel loved. You also are looking for her to submit to you, and how will she submit? Through her actions. So it's a doing thing.
Yeah.
Well, so you know, men are naturally seen or expected to be strong, magnanimous, almost like we don't even have emotions and everything. I mean, some people also say it is just okay for a man to even cry, you know. But considering these things, what I want to know is, what are the hardest things of being a man? I mean, probably you want to go a little bit personal. I'll start with you, Ernest. What are the hardest things of being a man today?
I mean, the hardest things of being a man today is that there's this expectation that being a man, even from the biblical point of view, like Saka said, it is deemed that you are the head of the family. Where being the head means what? You are all knowing, you have everything to take care of the family. Even every kid, from expectation point of view, thinks that the dad is rich. You understand?
But you are rich. Of course. Well, look, we also our parents were rich.
We all used to think they were rich until we became parents.
So even when you are in difficult moments, it's very difficult to cry out and let others know. Like you said, society even has made it more worse by saying Beman soon. You understand? So even when you are in a tight corner and you need to voice out, there comes in what Saka was talking about, the ego part of you, which will tell you that, hey, you're a man, you need to keep going, you need to keep doing. So sometimes, even the dilemma is that you go out and you talk to friends or you talk to other people and you're open about it. I'll see you and say, Charlotte, Dami, today there are things no good, crowd, Charlie Jack. But ask yourself whether I'm confident enough to make the same pronouncement
at home.
You understand? So the most difficult aspect is, you know, taking upon yourself that all-knowing and all-having, you know, tendency and characteristics as to, oh, I'm the head of the family, so by all means, even if it is not good, I should be able to do it for them. There comes in the challenge of those who do not able to make enough as, or do not able to earn enough as their partners are earning. So for instance, if your wife is earning more and you have to be the all-knowing head, or you have to be the head of the family, and you think you must be able to do all those things for her, if it's difficult, or even if you don't have it, you know, because of this ego thing, you find it difficult telling your partner about it or your wife about it, that, look, I think, so if you can find something for me to put things in order, it's difficult. So sometimes it's the only way for it to be easy for you is to have that kind of reasonable partner who understand the times and the season in which you find yourself, who understands the collective interest of the family. And it will only happen if the partner also understand that there is a journey for the family to make, and at the end of the journey, whatever that you both achieve is for the family and not you alone. So the pressures or the difficult aspect also comes, you know, we've spoken about social pressures on the man as well. Now our ladies are also on the internet everywhere, Instagram, they're seeing what people are putting out there, they are talking to friends are doing videos and saying, today I'm in a first class flight going to Dubai, getting here. So they are also exerting pressures on our women at the same time. So even the woman who is supposed to be reasoning about the family and be supporting the family, she's actually comparing and saying, I saw Akosia on the first class flight going to Dubai or going for holidays. The other month I saw her here. What about me? I don't see it. So you see, sometimes it may be fake. It could even be that the person only stood by that seat in the flight and took a picture. But at the end of the day, she's projected it.
Yeah.
She's brought pressure for those who are watching her.
Innocent people.
Innocent people. You understand? And even there's also the other aspect. I remember a colleague told me a story the other day. He and the wife were putting money together, trying to get some properties for themselves, coming from a good Christian home, both of them. One day, the wife spoke to an elderly woman in their neighborhood. Then the woman told the lady that, so don't be doing those things with your man where you guys are putting in money, trying to get this property for yourself. So the lady also decided to at least start some small savings for herself and start doing something separate. And you know, this thing had a big toll on my friend. You know, I realized that a lot of time he became quiet. There were a lot of things pestering him. You know, after having an engagement, say, Charlie, he doesn't know what has happened, but they've been married for this number of years. They've been saving together, spending their monies together. But things have changed. Now the wife is no longer doing that. So, those elderly ones giving wrong advices are there. Then the young ladies who are buying pressure for you by putting in all those artistic impressions for you to think that they are living well, they are there. Coupled with, you know, your own fantasies of you two seeing things and liking them and you also wanting to. So there's pressure everywhere. So if you don't take care, you won't be able to put a balance between the two lives.
Saka, the hardest thing about being a man for you today? Being a man today generally.
As we grow, I have come to learn a couple of things and I'd like to share. I realize that we are living in a very fast-paced life now where there's so much pressure, as Ernest has mentioned, from social media, from family, from friends. But as a man, I have realized that it's important that you know yourself and also accept that life is in stages. Men are in sizes. I learned that from the Nigerians. When a Nigerian sees you with something he likes, he says, "Oh, Oga, I like your watch. May God bless me, make me to buy some." That is a very, very important thing. He doesn't think, "Hey, I like your watch. I have to get this watch." And that is what is killing a lot of us, causing a lot of us to do things that ordinarily we wouldn't have done, and it's leading to shame. I think that it's very important that you know yourself, you know that your abilities, you accept life and give thanks for everything, for the good and for the bad. Once you start living like that, the pressure is less because you are not living your life in competition with anybody. I always say that as I sit here today, I can take trotro and nothing will happen to me. There are people who have chalked a little success, maybe bought 1 or 2 cars, and if they sit in trotro, they'll be depressed.
Even if not to cut him off, even at that, there's also another side of pressure coming from these our friends who are making easy money through fraudulent means.
Oh, those ones.
Those ones. You see, so before you see the guy who has not even acquired a university education now, has all the money.
So much money, and you wonder how it came about. He
owes a G-Wagon, he owes all the finest cars around. And people are saying, "Oh, do you know about this guy? Charlie, now he's got money." And they are telling you, and people are comparing. And if you don't take care, it becomes, or it makes nonsense of your education, your trade, and all those things you've been doing with your life.
I think it's important also for us men as we grow to note that money is not everything.
Yeah, sure.
My friend John Bauer always says that before you say money is not everything, please make sure you have a lot of money before you start saying that nonsense. Money is very important. I'm not saying money is not important, but we should focus on the fundamentals.
Yeah.
You need accommodation, you need shelter, you need everything else. If I wake up in the morning and I have 4 cars in my parking lot, I can only drive one at a time.
True.
If I have a 10-bedroom house, I can only sleep in one at a time.
Yeah.
If I have 40 shoes, I can only wear one at a time.
Yeah.
So it's important that we accept life in that way, that look, at least I have the fundamentals taken care of. I have a place to sleep, I have some clothes, and plan and strategize to live a life that we can afford, not a life that we perceive or have seen someone living on social media. As he said, I know a lady who flies economy to on Emirates, and whenever she gets there, she's one of the last to get off the plane because she wants to go and sit in first class
and take a selfie,
pose like that, and get one of them to take her a picture. So if you see her, you think, hey, she flew business class and she's in economy. So it's very important that as men of today, we learn to accept life for what it's brought us and understand that it's a gradual process and work at it steadily.
So men of today need to understand that it's a gradual process so that we can work at it steadily. I'm going to take my very second break, and when we are back, we'll continue. Please. Come back if you're just joining us. It's eTVGhana. We are in the men's lounge. I'm here with Saka and Ernest. So we've been discussing men. I mean, the highs and lows of being a man in today's world. And there's so much information that's already trickled in. Feel free to join us if you're watching. And on our WhatsApp pages or WhatsApp line is 050-020-2222-054. That's our WhatsApp number, 020-2222-054. Soon I'll be opening the phone lines as well, and before I open them, I'll be announcing the lines so that you can call in and join and give us your contributions. Please feel free also to join us on all our other social media platforms, and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's at eTVGhana, and then you can join us over there. Send us your comment and we'll do justice to it. Back to the lounge. Saka, Ernest. So this time we would go a little bit personal.
Okay.
Now I need you to tell me, or let's share with me your lowest and highest moments being a man.
Okay. All right, Adam. So
give me that example of that particular one.
Which one? Is it a low one or you want the high one?
I want the high one first.
You want the high one first. Okay. So for me, if you ask me my highs as a man, from the family point of view, you know, it's all exciting having a family and seeing the family grow together and sticking together all the time. So I take that to be very, very much exciting, especially where, you know, the person I lived with or my wife, for instance, is very understandable, and we are able to put our energies or our thoughts together a lot of time to be able to do whatever we want to do. A lot of time it feels exciting because talking to friends, hearing what others are putting out there, you get to know that, Charlie, you have a very peaceful home, you have an exciting home to visit. You are not tormented getting to your house at times, because the other side of the story, when you hear your friends talk about how difficult they feel going back to their house, you know, it's not a pleasant thing, and sometimes they even need someone to share these stories with, but you know, you don't have anybody to tell those stories to. So being a man, the highs, you know, the business, especially the business we run together, and some of the largesse that comes with it, it's very exciting knowing that we started something from the scratch, and as couples, we are able to build on it and, always improve as the day goes by. It's good. Then it comes to corporate life and other personal life, or let me put in me, I do politics too. So it's exciting for me as a man that, being a man, I get a free hand to operate, where I can sometimes leave the house like as early as by 6 and sometimes get in as late as 12 a.m. or 12 midnight, because I'm still moving from here, from office to do politics, get back to the office to do some work, chase some business up here, that kind of free hand to operate as a man. Because I feel if you compare to the ladies, on the other hand, they are limited, especially though we all seem to be equal. They do not have that free hand. Even being out there, she'll be thinking that she has kids, she needs to go out there. So those are good opportunities or good moments for you as a man. And it gets more exciting when you're making more money. Though Saka said, and it's a fact, that we need not to be so centered on money. It is quite important that you have some appreciable level of money, or
before you start saying
before you need to be very comfortable in life. Other than that, because let me give you an example. For instance, I know a couple that got married, and the marriage broke the very day they got married, all because of a cockroach. But the reason wasn't the cockroach. The reason was the financial stress. So when they were getting married, they didn't have money, they borrowed. And the man, immediately after the wedding, his mind was very stressed. So once in the evening, he was thinking about, Jack, how am I going to pay this money? They let a cockroach pass, and the lady said, look at the mouse. So when she shouted, look at the mouse, the guy was like, how can a mouse be? It's a cockroach. I saw it. He said, you didn't see it. I'm the one who saw it, and I'm saying it. How are you challenging it? The guy said, I saw it. It's a cockroach. He said, the lady said, oh, you are being ignorant. I saw it, and you are. The guy said, you are calling me ignorant. You're stupid. Then the fight started. The following day, they divorced.
So the marriage lasted for
the marriage lasted, yes. You get a point. So if you look at it from that point of view, that kind of pressure that comes from society and the way people handle their stuff, if yours is not in that situation, you don't have that financial stress, you have the liberty to make some money, to manage your family, to take care of your excesses, trust me, it's more exciting. It makes you happy, and it should be a high moment for you. Then there's also a step beyond, where I'm able to make more to buy my dream car. I don't say I have the dream car now. I want to drive the Rolls Royce at 40.
Amen.
So you see, so I'm working hard towards that. And Jack, you can imagine if I have that, I'm able to hit it at 40.
When you buy, come and park it beside mine.
Oh yeah,
beside my Rolls Royce.
You will hear of me, but at this boy where I buy Rolls Royce.
Everybody go here.
Charlie, you hear of me, definitely. So there comes that dream as well. And when you're able to hit it or fulfill it, it's a high moment for you as a man. You definitely get
it. So what about some of the low times for you personally?
The low times for me personally are, one, from the family point of view, when you have a challenge. For instance, my mother-in-law lives with me, or lives with her, takes care of the kids, and also, for instance, if I have a challenge, or there's a small misunderstanding between you and your partner, and there's nobody to talk to, Charlie, because you can't, as big as I see myself and as intelligent as I see myself, I don't see myself going to stand before my mother-in-law and say, my wife did this and I didn't like it, and I think so it kind of messes your day and throws you out of gear. And going to do business or being in the office, and you are not stable. It's a very low, like I see those things to be very low moment. Then I also see situations where my ambitions crops in. I have a lot of ambitions as well. I have a lot of plans I want to achieve. So when I'm not able to hit it at the rate I want to hit it, sometimes it exerts pressure on me. So I get back, I retire to my bed, and I keep thinking, and sometimes I even have impact on the family as well. There's also low challenges that comes with business, especially employees. In this nation, employing people is one of the most difficult things. I quite remember previously when I had not delegated most part of the business to my wife. Sometimes I come to the house very stressed, keeping to myself, thinking about the challenges the guys are giving me from the business. So when I come back and I'm thinking, she'll be like, oh, you like worrying about things. This is, I find a tricky way of getting her involved, and so I can be a bit free and step out. And then the reality, I returned to the house. I saw she was very stressed. So, madam, what is the problem? So, Charlie and Brana be handle why and I'm Mrs. Ekramabe. Every day there are issues. I said, oh, you now understand why I used to come home very quiet, tired with all these stress. So, there's also the stress of, you know, trying to do a lot of concurrent things because you possibly want to get to somewhere within certain possible number of years. Challenge ambition, so it makes it a bit more stressful. So those are low moments. But in all this, what I have for the young guys out there and myself is that it depends on your beliefs. It depends on what motivates you, what makes you happy, what your drives are. You understand? Me personally, I started with certain guys. I always keep saying, there were guys that when we started working, they made money, they got some land somewhere on the Akusumo route. Quickly, they decided that they wanted to put up a mansion. Some of them tried. Today, they are done. It will take them like 10 years for electricity and water to hit where their buildings are. Okay, some of us choose the alternative of putting our money to business, start some entrepreneurship ideas small, and we're able to turn our monies around, and we are able to do something a little more above what they are capable of doing today. You understand? So it's all about you having your drive, taking your time, and say, this is where I want to get to, and being patient about it, because it's a virtue that these days with the young guys on. Above all things, I also say spirituality too is very important. I won't sit here and pretend like that's a side of the story too. Most of us don't tell, even our pastors don't tell. There are challenges of being a pastor, but how many pastors tell their story? They don't. You understand? So I believe in God. I'm a very good Christian, and I read my Bible, and I take a lot of inspirations from the Bible as well, and I make sure it guides my life. So I don't know who else is watching us and what the beliefs of the person are. But for me, the Bible shapes my life a lot. A lot of times, as soon as I'm stressed or I'm buckled with something, I go read my Bible, and sometimes it gives me that inner peace, and it gives me an idea as to pick myself together and move on. So spirituality is also important. And in as much as you go through the struggles of life, you need to look at that side as well.
Saga, I need you to personalize this one like he has done.
I would like to start with the lows. For the lows, one of the things that really puts me down is stress, and the stress is mainly from life, from business, and it triggers a bad temper.
Yeah, you're right.
I really feel bad when I have to explode on someone because
you are stressed.
I'm stressed. And the stress is as a result of business.
Yeah.
So that's a low for me. Sometimes I explode on people and I realize that they have nothing to do with it. It's stress from my business that I've brought onto them. The other low for me as a Christian, as a married man, is little bits of challenges with other women, you know. I won't expatiate that. I know you all understand.
No, we don't understand.
You know that we're living in times where the women are more than the men, in all sincerity. So some of us get a lot of attention from other women, and it's not easy dealing with it and staying on track, and this can bring some hurt and pain to the missus at home. So managing those things is one of the things that I consider lows, because sometimes you might not have done anything with the girl, but just the sort of conversation you are having on WhatsApp, the pictures she's sending you, and those things can lead to some discomfort for the wife at home, and that one for me is one of my lows. On the highs of life, I am very happy with where God has put me in life. I'm happy that I have become a good entrepreneur. It was my dream. I realized that I get a lot of high when I'm able to help other businesses succeed, where I have formed a habit of registering companies for young graduates, encouraging them into entrepreneurship. So what I do is that I'll register your company for you and I will promote it for you. This I have done with a couple of people, and by the grace of God, they are doing very well, and that makes me very, very happy, honestly. And I also get a lot of happiness from encouraging my friends to rise with me. And when I say my friends, my core cronies I work with, I make it a conscious effort to encourage them to rise with me. I don't want to be the only star in the group. I want all of us to be stars, so that if I'm driving, let's say, an Infiniti QX80, my right-hand man should be able to drive maybe a Land Cruiser, my left-hand man maybe a Sequoia, and we are all moving together. So that's a high for me. I also get a lot of high when I'm able to sponsor kids through their education or help people go to school. But the thing that gives me the greatest joy is to see that my businesses are thriving and my workers are gradually improving their lives. I see them, they didn't have a car, now they have a car, they've built a house, they are taking their children to good schools. That gives me the best joy in life, to see that the people who are making me suffer are also progressing. I take a lot of I gain a lot of happiness from seeing that happen. That's a high for me. I'm also happy that as a father, I see my daughter growing and we're building a relationship. I'm speaking to her about life. I'm telling her to be careful with boys. She shouldn't let any, now that her breast and things are coming out, you know how boys are. These are very, very delicate things that as a father, if you are not careful, you might not be able to speak to your child about. But I have started talking to her about it early because I don't want any surprises. There are all these bad men sitting around the corner looking for small girls to press. So I've told her, I've even taught her how to kick their balls, just in case someone tries something. And and I see that as much as she's shy and she's not keen on what I'm saying, I'm happy that she's listening to me.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm doing something right.
And that obviously brings her even much closer to you.
Yes. As for my daughter, I don't joke with her. I you know, no, the infants here, but until she's 18, there, I'm not allowing any boy into the house to be.
Well, Saka says he has dogs and guns and...
No, I don't have any of that. You come and meet me and Casa there.
Look, guys, we're going to take our next break, and when we are back, we'll take our calls. I'll open the phone lines. We can call, and then please keep sending your messages. We'll read them whilst you send them. Shooting straight, I'm going to mention the phone lines as I told you. The number is 05565 7278 05565 7278. Please feel free to call, share with us your thoughts and your opinion on our discussion today. So back to the studio. We don't have enough time though, but we'll try to make this one very snappy before we leave here. So I was asking that both of us or both of you here are entrepreneurs. I mean, there is a full-time job, obviously, because being an entrepreneur is more like, it's even more than a full-time job, because you work 24 hours. Trust me, you don't work from a certain time to a certain time. Those who work for you do that, but you work 24 hours. So how do you manage that? Because I'm aware of the kind of stress that you have, but how do you manage that having a family also on the side?
Adami, that's a very good question, and it's a big-time challenge. You know, balancing your time of doing business. Me, from my perspective, I've been a corporate worker for so many years. I started working from the ports and coming to telecom and doing this. So I've been a corporate worker for some years, and I've been doing business on the side as well. So I have 2 different businesses I manage on the side as well. So you can imagine the pressure that comes with it. So finding a balance between the two is sometimes difficult. Like Saka said, a lot of time, if you don't take care, the stress that comes from the business, for me, a lot of time I take them to the house, because I'll get to the house thinking and finding hard solutions to it. Sometimes you won't even sleep, thinking that, okay, the next morning, what can I do to solve these challenges for the employees or for workers working for you? All that they know is that they have to escalate things to you. Now you know the kind of capital you have sunk in there and how you have struggled. I always tell my friends that, Charlie, a year so you first 100,000 cedis for you to make 500,000.
Let me hold you on now. There's a caller on the line. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Your name, where you're calling from?
Yes, my name is Ochre, and I'm calling from Kaswa.
Hi, Ochre from Kaswa. We can hear you.
Yes, I would like to congratulate Mr. Saka.
Oh, Saka, congratulations.
Yeah, for how far he's done with himself and his job. He's an inspiration to most of us, so we are looking forward to catch up with him and also learn from him as well.
Okay.
Just this past Tuesday, he celebrated his 10th wedding anniversary, and I want to congratulate him too as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Ochre,
Okay.
thank you so much for joining us this evening. Saka has heard you.
Over.
I thought you were living in one of his beautiful homes. Anyway,
He's going to buy one.
He's going to buy one.
He's going to buy one.
That's like a discount for calling now.
He gets $5,000 off for this call.
Ernest.
Yeah, so it's so difficult getting capital in this country. So when a poor man's son like me hustle from scratch to make like 100,000 build on before to be able to invest, you could tell that Charlie, never. You understand? So it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of innovations, a lot of hard work, balancing the two, because in as much as I'll be thinking as to how to make that one work, I still have my full-time employment to also solve problem there, and there too I'm paid to solve problem, and people are looking up to me to achieve their goals. So there's always that kind of stress, but we still find a way to balance it. Thanks be to God. For me, I have a very understandable partner, so my wife supports a lot, especially when it comes to the kids side. So what I do is that the least chance I get out there, I don't waste it. I make sure I go back to the family, and also on weekends, as soon as, or once I'm in Accra, I spend a lot of time with them. Like I mentioned to you, currently doing politics too, so it also takes a lot of my time as well, because weekends I travel to the constituency to look at what is going on there, trying to work my way out to also, enter the political system to be able to do.
And it seems your talk is bringing us a lot of callers. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Eddie. Eddie Blake.
Hi, Eddie.
Yeah.
Hello, caller.
Hello.
Eddie, we can hear you.
Yeah, I want to thank the gentleman for the education. These are the sort of programs we need to introduce Ghanaians. Those sexual programs and education programs, and as spiritual programs on television. You see, you are educating, you are giving jobs indirectly, and how people can fish. So we are grateful for the work that you are doing. And then secondly, to say kudos to Mr.
All right, Eddie. We thank you for your contribution, and we thank you for being part of this program. We need you to also keep watching and share the information that we put out there, so that tomorrow's men can be better men than yesterday. Thank you very much, Eddie. And as you're on the floor.
Yeah, Adam, so how I balance this thing is making sure that the times that I have, I spend it, in a quality manner with the family, because knowing that I leave in the morning, the next time they will see me again is in the morning. You understand? A lot of time, by the time they will see me again is in the morning. So when I have chance to spend some time with them, I make sure it is spent wisely.
Nice one. Saka, shoot me your last one and let's run.
Well, balancing this act from experience has shown me that it's not easy to be successful. Because once you are perceived to be successful, then there's a challenge of staying successful, which is even more difficult than the original.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that scares me the most in life is for when I see someone at the point to say, hey, Akwawe, no,
I don't like that.
God forbid.
I'm sure you are thinking.
In my lifetime, I never wanted to be said that me Kweje Sakana Muska. Because of that, I'm very diligent with work. And being diligent with work means taking on a lot of work, adding on to businesses, because I spot opportunities and I take advantage of them. My wife used to be my girlfriend back in secondary and in the university. When we were in the university, she said she would not like to marry me because she worries that I will work so hard that I will not have time for the home. So that haunts me. Once she agreed to marry me, automatically I've promised that I'll make time for the home. So I consciously try to call her during the day. I try to be home at a reasonable time so that at least I can have a decent conversation with her, possibly make love to her before she goes to bed. In the mornings, try and see her off, give her a nice goodbye kiss and spend some time with her. When I have the chance, I go to her office and I take her out for lunch. I am dedicated to taking my daughter to school every Wednesday. It's a special time for daddy and daughter. So we go to school every Thursday and I call it Daddy Uber. So these are little initiatives that I try to implement to sort of bridge the time I'm exerting outside doing business. When I can afford or when I have time, I try to take trips with them in Ghana and outside Ghana because I value family. My businesses really take a heavy toll on me and it brings me a lot of stress, especially in times when the economy is not doing too well and houses are not selling. The houses are my main business. Building beautiful homes to sell is what I do for a living. Every other thing is just auxiliary to support me. So in the stress, I find time to spend with family. I have a sister, Audrey. I like to spend time with her too. And you know, just sort of bond. I value friendship. I have some very good friends that I spend time with, and all of this, I believe, helps me reduce the stress that comes from the business. Generally, I think I'm doing well. My wife thinks that I can do better and spend more time with her. But I also know that she doesn't want me to be broke. Because when I'm broke, I get depressed,
so
I
she
can't
better
sleep,
understand.
I get headaches. When I'm broke, it's not good though. I can't sleep. So I need to work. So it's a balancing act. We try. It's not easy though, but we try.
Well, so Saka says it's not easy though, but we try. And there's also things that, look, no matter the time you have at your business, you still need time for the family. It's about having a family that understands you. And also, for Saka there, he makes it look like he has an alarm clock that tells him to call my wife, see her, Uber time, you know.
Yeah,
maybe we should all adapt it. Anyway, guys, we are grateful for you being part of this evening's program. Next week, we'll be back with another episode. But today, we are thankful to Casa Prekum and Lobo Beaters for being part of this evening. Thank you very much. We'll be back next week with another episode.